So when people first heard about this figure, they were like, "Oh, that'll be awesome! Like, we'd really love that. You know, that's a figure we'd love to get a hold of if they do it properly." And that's kind of the sticking point where, yeah, they kind of maybe haven't. But we'll see what we can do. So we're going to take a look at something I bought from my final purchase of the Cardiff money. There we go. Legacy Deluxe Skullgrin. Now, what they've done is they've tried to combine the Pretender shell and the Pretender robot. And it's a lot more apparent in the robot mode. But I usually don't start in robot mode. And I don't want to be negative about this figure, so I thought I'd start in the worst mode and see how we get on from there. This is potentially the worst mode, quite easily the worst of the two modes. And I think basically they've just got this figure and smushed it down into something they could pretend is a tank. But in doing so, they've kind of lost the simple joy of the G1 figure, because like the G1 figure had tracks at the back, but it had a giant wheel in the middle at the front. This has tracks at the back. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure this doesn't get bent all over the place. Has tracks at the back and nothing at the front. So all these tracks would be doing is just pushing that. There's also no wheels, so you can't actually it doesn't do that. Can't do that. But it's got these guns on the side, made of the world's softest rubbery rubbish. And they, well, we'll get into it more for the transformation, but they're very nearly structural. Very nearly. And you've got this turret, which, okay, you know, they're designed to look like hands, so it's supposed to look like the G1 figure's arms that became the cannon. It doesn't quite work, they're too small. But it's got a turret, they go around, and you can, you know... It's... Robot arms just sticking out the back. This is very much the throwaway mode. They didn't put a lot of thought into this one. Or if they did, bless them, it must have been like the intern's day to design. You know, someone's birthday, give them a chance. Bless them. I suppose we go size comparison. So, Legacy Wild Rider. It's a deluxe. It's a reasonably chunky deluxe, but it's a deluxe. Okay, transformation. Turrets and stuff can stay on. These need to come off. And there's a little notch there and a gap in the gun. That tab's on. And they plug into these tracks. But it's wibbly rubber and I hate it. I really don't like this. Because the thing is, these are quite tight. And then you put rubber into them, and rubber will grip. So you put them in there, and, oh no, it's not quite right. So you go to do what everyone else would do, and you just grab the end to bend it to tab onto there, and you end up bending the gun like that. It bothers me, because I don't want the guns to get bent, but at the same time, it's like, what am I supposed to do? And then you start thinking, well, why are the guns there in the first place? Can't you, like, put them on the side of the turret? You can. There are peg holes. You can put them inside the turret. But the problem with that is, if you look at the vehicle from the side, there's a giant hole through the middle. And that's what these are supposed to go across here to kind of hide. Is there an upgrade kit for this? Can someone make an upgrade kit and send it to me? You know, like with the big wheel that plugs into the toes or something at the front. So, you know, it can actually drive. And, you know, a piece to cover this up. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be negative. I really don't, but it doesn't make it easy. So this is one of those figures where you can almost do like a stop motion transformation. It should be great for stop motion. So what you do is you bend the feet. Yeah, there's a tab on the back of the heel that goes into a notch in there. See that? So you do that. At the same time, you can detach the back wheels, the back treads. They've got this little slot, tab that goes into that slot, this tab in here that goes into that slot, and rotate them down as a support. We'll do the same on that side, untap them both, rotate them down. So I mean, like stop motion, you could literally have this stand up on its own. We can wriggle this front section loose. There are notch there. You see those? And little white tab. See that? And that. At which point it will allow you to extend the knees. And the knees are a bit combiner wars. So you need to be careful with this. In fact, I'm going to separate these just to show you and make a point. You can't just, oh look, there's the knee. Because that doesn't work. What you've got to do is use that other hinge in there to get this up and around, and this big purple tab on the side here goes into that groove. There you go. Told you, combiner was. Get that round and into there. And now you've basically got that. There, it's done. What do you think? Secret third mode. No? It's probably infinite alternate modes for this thing. We can get these arm pieces and we wiggle them down a little bit. So these little white notches, see there? Go out of basically the forearm swivels. They just about drop out of there. Separate them and rotate them out to the sides, which should allow you, on this slider, to just rotate the whole shoulder assembly forward a little bit. There, it's done. What do you... Oh, hang on. Just going to flip out the hands. You can do this later on, but I'm going to do it now just to prove a point. Come on. Look, it's a go walk mode. Yeah! Alright, fine. Rotate the arms the way they should be. We might as well straighten out the legs and the knees, legs and the knees, rotate up the body on the waist. There you go. Finish off the legs. We're going to turn the treads so they're underneath and bring them up so that this tab goes into that slot. And don't get me wrong, the way all this extends all the way up to the back and folds back down nicely, that's actually quite engineered, quite well engineered. It's just quite a lot of the rest of the figure that doesn't work. Fold down the chest panel on this big hinge right here in the middle and rotate the whole thing over to there. And now we've just got to play with the head a little bit, so we've got to rotate these horns back. And then the head is actually in two pieces. There's this grey piece and there's that. So we need to get this grey piece to tab onto the front. That's not always the easiest thing in the world. There you go. Bring the chin up. Close the panel up. I've already done the arms. Make sure everything's closed tightly together. Bring the head down. And dramatic face reveal. Rotate the horns out. And here we have Skullgrin in his robot mode. He's alright. He's fine. He's alright. You know, he's got the Pretender shell head, which I don't think necessarily goes with the rest of the body, but fine. He's got the skull pattern hips and shoulder pads of the Pretender shell. You know, the waist, the belt. He's got waist swivel, which with that transformation I'm quite impressed with. Tiny little Decepticon symbol in the middle there. Ah, there's one little bit of the transformation I forgot. Sorry. We go to the back here and we fold down the tail, which is attached to the turret. So, you know, not really structural, but fine. We'll have the tail. The legs are a little bit hindered going out because of this panel on the hips. Little bit hindered, little bit annoying, but I suppose if you wanted you could trim the top. It's up to you. The cannons are fine. All this feels a little bit loose to me. This whole cannon assembly, the rotation. I mean, I've actually coated this in super glue to try and tighten it up a little bit, but it feels a little bit loose. The legs feel really stumpy. I don't know if they are, but they feel stumpy, or maybe just this bit seems too big and that too. I don't know. The proportions seem a bit odd. The arms are fine. Again, shoulder pad things, a little bit awkward, but they're fine. Over 90 degree, hollow, but that's where the fist rotates in. Swivel. They're fine. They're not bad. I got no real problem with the arms. Head's a bit... But again, I don't want to dislike this guy. He's even got ankle tilt, which, considering how everything in the legs transformed, I'm quite impressed with. So I don't want to be, I don't want to be down on this guy just for, like, to be cool and trendy or something, because I'm not. I'm really not. But, the weapons, yeah. Again, you can store them on the side of the guns, and then they look really silly. You can store them pointing down. They don't look quite as silly, but then it stops how much you can wiggle the guns to get out of the way of the horns, and then because they hit, because not very good. You can stick them on the shoulders if you want, but why would you? You can put them as guns, and that's fine. You can do that. Pew pew. You can turn around, use this peg, and have them as swords, which actually works quite well because, due to the transformation, he's got an ankle tilt, so we can actually get like a proper chopping action. So he's actually quite good for swords and stuff. He's actually, because the wrist articulation, he's actually quite good for that. There's also another option where you can use the holes underneath. You can undersling them. I kind of like that, but since I discovered the wrist for the... I prefer them as swords now. But again, I don't want to be down on this guy. I really don't, because he's... Well, I bought him to be a henchman for my Megatron. This one. Because at Cardiff, I bought too many Autobots and Maximals, so I thought I need Decepticons. So I bought him as a henchman. Is that a size comparison? Is that okay for everyone? Now, let's get drag strip in. There you go. Legacy drag strip. And yeah, roughly the same size. He seems to have a lot more mass to him, though. I like him. I do, honestly. The tank mode is a throwaway. I mean, he transforms for the sake of transforming, but... And you can probably take these off and put them somewhere. I don't think I've ever done that once. Because why would I? I don't know. I like him for what he is. But what he is very confused. I think that's as good as it's going to get. I could have picked up Bomb Burst, I should have picked up Bomb Burst. Whatever. I'll see if he's in the Amazon wish list. Maybe someone will treat me. So that'll do this review. I know it's gone on a little bit, but let's face it, there's quite a bit to talk about, isn't there? So, I'm going to run away. I should be ugly, I should be wretched. I shall see all of you in the next one. When I peel off my mask and reveal my skull. We've all got skulls. Bye-bye!